risk takers. I find them to be a little bit risk taking, that they, you know, they go for it. You know, I don't find that they hold back on things that they want. They go for it.
That makes sense. Do you attract, because that's your Mercury card, do you find yourself attracting a lot of non-clubs?
I attract clubs. They're everywhere.
Just clubs.
They're everywhere. Everybody I know is a club. Almost everybody I know or have had in my life, majority of them are clubs. It's funny. And I think it's because of I love the mental. I love the mental. That being my Mercury, it would make sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. For me, I don't attract too many clubs. I think the King of Clubs is like one of the most prominent energies around me for me. And then let me see another club. The Queen of Clubs, of course, Ace of Clubs, Ten of Clubs. I seem to attract those a lot. And I was kind of raised by Three of Clubs. What is it? Three of Clubs or Three of Spades? Pretty sure he's a Three of Clubs. But I don't know too many Nine of Clubs. Like I know them, but I don't know, you know? So yeah, I don't attract those too much. But that's my Uranus card. So it would be interesting just to have that particular relationship because it is my Uranus card. And seeing it's my Uranus card, it may be why I don't know too many. But the ones I do know are like young, as you said, very smart, intelligent, especially as when I seen the Nine of Clubs kids and like really got to know them, I was like, dang, just the information and they're funny as well. Pretty quick off the tongue, pretty funny. But when I was like, dang, this kid has definitely been here before. But you know, I think we all kind of say that these days. Like a kid is born with a very old spirit. But his brother, his dad is actually a Seven of Diamonds, and he had two Nine of Clubs. And that's the Seven of Diamonds Mars card. So I just thought that was interesting. He had two Nine of Clubs, and they was born on the same day, 2 or 3 years apart. And literally, they came like looking like twins. It was so weird. It is so weird. But yeah, and then just to look at, just the karma, because the Nine of Clubs has the Six of Diamonds. So, I think they have like this wisdom and this old soul to them. That kind of like this karmic type of feel. Like, Nine of Clubs they kind of came back, I think, to complete a mission, whenever you're looking at the nine, you're going into the essence of completion or on a journey. If you hadn't completed it or let it go, you're definitely within that journey and completing your mission or walking the line of destiny.
Yeah, they do. I feel like they're on a mission. There's definitely a purpose, and they're that they get there, and that Six of Diamonds actually, they have to be responsible, especially with the financial aspect of it. I find that's why a lot of them give a lot. The ones that I've come across when it comes to like money or giving things, like they very much have get that humanitarian energy to them. And I find when they do that, and they give without the expectation of receiving, they're very blessed people. I have found them to be very blessed people, very fortunate people. Yeah. On the high side.
Yeah, and then to look at their spread, the Six of Diamond, then you have the Six of Diamond as their constant lesson card. Kind of like the Three of Diamonds, like they know their debts. It's like that feeling like, okay, I know I got to pay this. All right, let me make sure I pay all my bills, make sure I plan everything out, make sure I get this done and complete this particular mission. That it's that sense of, I know I have to do this. This is like my journey, where I'm going, my focus. As long as keeping up with their things, I feel like that's why sometimes I don't get a pass. It's like all my like I know I gotta pay something. I know I gotta do something, and if I ignore it, it's like, oh, you knew better. Come on, you got the 9 of clubs and 6 of diamonds. You know what you have to do. Like, stop playing with yourself. So definitely, that karma to pay your debts. You know, today is like a day where you like that bill or something, you're gonna get a reminder. Yo, I swear, like on the 6 of diamonds and whenever I see that card or 9 of clubs, like I think bill collectors know. I swear I think they know. It's like I'm always getting a notice or just the way the days are. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna take a look at that. But you know, you just gotta pay your debt. So it's like a reminder. I get a reminder of something I gotta do or somebody I owe or something, you know?
Yep. That's what it is about being that responsibility. You know, they have to do things in that energy of, you know, being responsible, giving, not, you know, not owing people debts, not, you know, having debts. I think that's extremely important for them. That's experiment, especially being a karma card. It hits them faster than most.
Right. What's up, Joseph? I didn't even see you up here.
Hi, Joseph.
Rich Risings, y'all. Happy 9 of Clubs Day. It's been lovely to wake up, okay, and listen to y'all talk about my ass, okay? Because, listen, everything y'all said is my life. That 9 of Clubs and Uranus, okay.
What's that like?
Everything that you described, literally. I mean, to the T. The 9 of Clubs, I find that I can be by myself and have a party all by myself. Okay, I don't really need others around me to have fun just because of my personality. But like you said, we're funny, we're lively, we're entertaining. I do find that the 9 of Clubs has a way with words. I've only met one other 9 of Clubs that I interacted with on a deeper level, and it was just like we hit it off, the conversation flowed effortlessly, and we had like this mental telepathy thing going on. And y'all were talking about Virgo. She was a Virgo, and I kind of stand Virgos a little bit. Loved it. And that 9 of Clubs energy is really this. They have this mental power, this mental wisdom that's just unmatched, and they can take it and turn it into something so beautiful with that Queen of Hearts challenging it. But they also, when they get into the deep, darker side of that 9 of Clubs energy, which is the depression, the being in limbo, right? Mental limbo, like, I kind of want to do this, but I'm not sure. Sometimes that 9 of Clubs can really reek in self-doubt and questioning themselves and whether or not they want to do something or whether or not they have the money to do something. And I think once they tap into the energy and the power of that 6 of diamond, it's like, well, I can actually use what it is that I know and my creative talents to help bring in the coin. And it's just a beautiful thing. But then the 9 of Clubs also, I feel, is a lifelong learner card. And it doesn't necessarily have to be formalized institutions or what some would deem as your stereotypical education. So that 9 of Clubs energy is really taking all of the information that they have in their head, whether it's, you know, from a book or what have you, as well as their own life lessons and wisdom, because it's a 9. And I do feel like 9s experience things way earlier on in life. And so by the time that they're adults, they have so much to talk about and so much to share in a creative capacity that it's just built up. And that's really where the gift comes from, with that 9 of clubs energy. What you think, Rashad?
Yeah, well, especially they had the 9 of spades and the Mercury part. So that childhood education, it may have been, like you said, if they don't have the traditional education, maybe because they was moving around a lot, or maybe, you
Or
know,
they experienced a familial death.
yeah, or, you know, it was some type of disconnect or something major or traumatic may have happened that may have affected them mentally, and they may hold on to it. Like you said, those
Yeah.
experiences that they have as younger are life changing, you know,
And
traumatic
I
or
also,
dramatic.
I also feel like the 9 of clubs does go through abusive situations as a child, with that King of Hearts, challenge of Karmic card, and also it in the Mars position. That King of Hearts energy can definitely denote bullying, whether that's mentally, physically, emotionally, and a lot of times it's verbally. And so that also plays a part in the depression and the self-doubt, because those voices and that abuse really plays a role in what the 9 of clubs has to overcome. And, you know, we call it the graduation card, but that is essentially what the 9 of clubs is overcoming pretty much on an everyday basis. Every day it's a mental survival game for the 9 of clubs. And so if they have not graduated from that or found an outlet for that healing with that the Queen of Hearts and the 6 of Diamonds, then it will be a self-destructive type of indulgence, where they seek out relationships and friendships and connections that re-embody what it was that they experienced growing up.
Yeah.
And until they learn that lesson and really become conscious of the pattern and become conscious of their choices and decision making, that is when they start to attract those high vibrational kings in their spread. And they get the partnerships and the connections that bring them a bit more peace with that 6 of Hearts in Saturn.
I mean, the King of Hearts is in, is that Mars position? Yeah. So, yeah, with the 7, with your Mars position, you know, that can be, depending on the type of energy that you have or the type of energy you may connect, that can be combative, you know. So I have a 7 of diamonds in Mars, and that's tough for me. I know a 7 of diamonds, I had the energy around me, and if it's not vibrating high, it can definitely be traumatic and dramatic. And it's based on wealth. It was really based on the wealth consciousness, you know. So for a King of Hearts, you may have a lot of people that may come at you with the huge ego, you know, like they have ego issues.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see, like you said, maybe issues with the father or men.
For me, it was the mother. And actually, my mother is a King of Hearts. That you are spot on with that.
Yeah, just someone with a huge ego, you know, not like you said, not just a man, because you know the women that have these particular cards too.
Yeah, but there are, you know, and all cards, you know, every person has that masculine and feminine energy too.
Right. Yeah. So, and like I was saying, it's all about the ego, you know, being controlling or somebody trying to dominate you, or you know, trying to tell you what to do. Thinking about 9 of clubs or somebody trying to tell them what to do is like, what? You don't know. You do not know who I am.
Don't even try to do that, because we will annoy you first, twice, about why you asked us to do a certain thing. Okay.
Right. It's the way. Sometimes it's the way you ask something. It's not even just the point of somebody trying to do something. It's like how you ask it. Like, calm down.
It's annoying too. We'll annoy the hell out of you with it before we give you what you want. If we give you what you want. Because remember, it's the 3 of diamonds, Uranus card.
Yeah.
It's our Uranus card. But the 9 of clubs really, that one particular connection that I had, like I said, it was just like this real interesting spark where we understood each other.
And
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, that was another thing. Speaking of like egos and control and whatnot, those cards are also what lend the 9 of clubs, in addition to being a karma card to the Queen of Hearts, can also lend that energy of being a sex card with those double kings in the Mars and Jupiter position. Yeah, because in as much as the 9 of clubs can attract those energies, the 9 of clubs can also be those energies. And so the 9 of clubs, with all of that knowledge and all of that wisdom, they can also grow to embody those energies as well, if they're not evolved or if they're still on the low side. And so they can play out that domineering, dominatrix, subtype energy in their relationships and actually enjoy it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, you can definitely, like I said, you can use your Mars cards as a positive or negative. It's going to come both ways. So definitely the drive and passion that one has. The challenging karma card, the Queen of Hearts, then you got the King of Hearts and Mars. Woo.
Yeah, you can make money, and you actually, you can make money doing that.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, and I didn't even realize we're talking about. What you hear yesterday? Yeah.
I was.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Double 3s, 3 of Hearts, Mars, and the 3 of Diamond, Pluto. Woo, chat.
Yeah, we got into a deep conversation about the sexuality of the jacks, Jack of Hearts, and just the fun.
Oh damn.
But I was going to say about that too, though. I think that the 9 of clubs, especially for the females, it's that Queen of Hearts that, because I find, at least with the one that I was very close with, she would say, she's very, I've always found that the 9 of clubs women are very attractive too. There's a look about them. They, whether it's their body with the curves or just there's a look about them that they're very attractive, but I always find like they feel, I feel like people are they feel sometimes that people are only drawn to them from their looks, when really it's their intelligence, right? They want to be known for their intelligence. They're like, I'm more than just a pretty face, or I'm more than just a pretty body. My mind is powerful. And at least with my friend, or she's not my friend anymore, but we always found that, for her, people would be very attractive to her, but then it was like once I remember her always telling me, she's like, even in school, they just thought I was a pretty face. They didn't think I had any intelligence, and it pissed her off. Wow. She get very upset about it, because she's like, I'm more than just my looks. And, it was a thing for her for quite some time, and she's a 9 of clubs. So I think that Queen of Hearts challenge, that karma card also gives them that sex appeal, that attractiveness, that charm that they can have. It brings people in, but then it's like they want you to realize it's more than that. It's my intelligence. But a lot of people don't look past the look.
Yeah, that sexy type of, they give off that energy. To have a Queen of Hearts challenging you, then the King of Hearts and the King of Diamonds, just they probably don't realize it, or they probably do, just the sexual energy that they give off.
We know. We know.
Yeah, it can be.
Are y'all kidding me? I pop on and hear sexual energy. Oh, what Rich Rising. Rich
Rising. Oh my gosh.
Morning. Now we're back talking about
I know. I'm like, this is so freaking dope. I told you.
We were just talking about the 9 of clubs, and someone that was very close to me for a while was 9 of clubs, and I was talking about how that Queen of Hearts, I remember her always telling me, growing up in school, the people would be attracted to her looks, but she's over here screaming, but I'm more than my looks, I'm my intelligence. And Josephine, you had said something about when it comes to them, the way they like take in knowledge and absorb knowledge. Like she taught herself how to build a website by watching YouTube videos. It's just, they're very intelligent people. Like I said, I think this is one of the most intelligent cards that there is. Next to like between the 10 of clubs, the 9 of clubs, and the 8 of clubs, I find them to be extremely smart people. And she was able to spend like a good 4 or 5 months watching, studying these videos, built my website. Actually, she was my former business partner. And so she, like, I would just be like, that's incredible, because I don't have the patience for this. So there's not a chance in hell I was doing that. But her, she didn't read a book. She watched these videos on how to do this and was able to get our website built. It's crazy.
Yeah, ingenuity, inspiration. It's kind of what I think of thinking about a 9 of clubs. And it's interesting you talk about YouTube, because that's what I know. 9 of clubs. That's all he watched, and it's all he learned from. Like he'll go on YouTube, learn something about a video game. He's like 10 or 11. He'll go to YouTube, learn something about a video game, and then get on there and do what he do.
Yo, that is so true, because that's exactly what I'd be doing sometimes. Or like when I was younger, I would be like the go-to person to put together electronics and furniture and shit. I'm like, yo, like, why am I doing this?
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't even have to read the booklet or nothing. I just look at it and it'd be done in like 10, 15 minutes.
I know that would kind of make me lazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like just me like being able to take in stuff and learn stuff.
Now I'm like, I don't want to do none of that shit. I'm a dainty bitch, okay? I don't want to lift a finger.
Right.
Because I did most of that stuff when I was
doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't, I have plenty of books, but I'm a big experience. People like, for instance, somebody asked me the other day or last week, because I used to bartend. I was, in the hospitality industry for a long time. Someone's like, how did you learn how to bartend? I'm like, I don't know. I just did it. Like I spent, since I was 13, 14 years old in the restaurant industry, when I turned 18 and when I turned 21, I never took a class on bartending. I never went to school for it. I was able to jump back behind that bar and sling drinks like I was very good at that. I would make a lot of money. I would bring up a lot of sales. I'm really fast. And they're like, where did you learn how to do this? I'm like, I don't know. Just watching other people, and that's my Mercury card. It makes sense. I can absorb the information without just being around it. I'll absorb it. I don't have to read the book. I can listen. I take it all in differently. So I find that the 9 of clubs, like you said, he'd watch a video, YouTube on how to do a video game, and he's over there killing the video game because of what he just watched. They have that as I think that's their superpower. Like I said, I find it to be one of the most intelligent cards there is. Whether they read the knowledge, listen to the knowledge, sit with it, sit in it, they take it all in.
Did y'all talk about it being Cardology?
No, we haven't gotten that part yet.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead though. We can go right into that. Actually, it's a great time.
Yeah, I came from a 9 of clubs. We can talk about the Cardology, but before let's get off my mind. Is that education lottery in every state? Is
who?
Education lottery?
Education lot. That's for charter schools. I know they have that in New York. I'm not familiar with Rhode Island, but I know in New York, they did have an education lottery for charter schools.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
You know, if the whatchamacallit, I don't got kids, but if the demand to get in the applications, you know, is more than what they got slot seats for children, there will be a lottery many times in the hood. I know the KIPP school in Harlem had one of those. They do like documentaries on those types of things. But yeah, the Nine of Clubs is the card of cardology. And why I love it so much, why I'm so obsessed, why I eat, sleep, and breathe these cards. I'll tell y'all, when I used to, back when we used to work in office buildings, okay, I would have my, the grand solar squares on my desk, right to my left. And then I would have my computer screen in front of me and some other stuff to the right to make it look like I was working, but I wasn't really working. I was there studying the cards. And like when people would come over to my cubicle, I would look up from my little book and be like, yeah, I'm working on this thing right now. I have it to you in an hour. And I lied. I would have it to them in 10 minutes because I would do it right then and there and send it off. The Nine of Clubs is also a whippersnapper in terms of getting shit done. When they know that there's something to be done and they need to do it in a certain time frame or whatever the case may be, they procrastinate and then they're going to get it done where you ain't even going to know that they did it like an hour before it was due or a few hours before it was due. Because
so, Joe, tell me what the hate kind of is for not why I should say hate. Tell me what why people have such a, I don't know. I'm trying. You could if you could
envy.
Something I see with the Nine of Clubs, because even looking at the energies, I love to look at the energies, but just looking at the energies of how people feel about cardology, it shows you the energies, how they feel. Because when you see 1111, it's the Nine of Clubs. And that's something that people are, like, yo, it opens them up because it's a portal. But when you see the Nine of Clubs, it's a different thing. What is the imbalance that you think it is?
I wouldn't say it's an imbalance. I think that the Nine of Clubs is innovative and does things differently. And you also got to remember that.
No, I'm talking about the imbalance in people and the energy, not the Nine of Clubs.
Like other people who are looking at the Nine of Clubs is what you're saying, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so they have the Six of Hearts and Saturn, which is usually supposed to be like this peace, loving energy, typically in other spaces. But it's also Mars. So when you, and also Mars is exalted in Saturn. So that can create competition in professional arenas. Because like, who the hell does this bitch think that she is? Or who the hell does this man think he is? Because like I said, our intelligence is unmatched. We do it in a creative way and we look good doing it. So yeah, people gonna hate. It's okay though. You stay in your lane and I'm over here in mine. And then,
girl, you just said a word, but that's how everybody talking about cardology. And we not cardology. We not the Nine of Clubs. So yeah, you definitely put that out. Is that whatever that you feeling inside of you, the Nine of Clubs bringing out, you got to work on.
But you want to know something?
What?
It also has the Jack of Spades and Pluto.
Okay.
So that's really that energy that's probably feeding that jealousy or that cult-like type of energy where it's just like, well, why the hell? And then the Ten of Hearts transformation. So not only do you have a Jack of Spades, Pluto, and an Eight of Clubs reward, which also lends that another mental power card, right? But you also have the Ten of Hearts as a transformation card. So people are going to be drawn to the Nine of Clubs, whether they want to or not. And then also, the Nine of Clubs is a transformation card to the King of Spades. So it's sandwiched between, you got the King of Spades soulmate, and then you got the Ten of Hearts transformation. Hell yeah, people going to hate. But one thing that's beautiful about the Nine of Clubs is when we in our bag and we focused on what it is we learning and what it is we're creating, we ain't got time for them hoes. We don't have time for it because we're focused on what we're doing. So, like I like to say, right? My favorite catch line from one of my favorite songs by Chris Brown. You can't hate because you're standing outside the club, okay?
And those sixes, like you said, that I think looking at the Six of Hearts and Mars, and looking at the Six of Diamonds as well, because they can be very competitive. But just the placement of the Six of Hearts, and it's supposed to be the Christ consciousness, or the Christ principle of that card. But that's a very dynamic energy. That has a lot of energy behind it. That's kind of almost warlike.
So how do you get the bag with the 9 of clubs?
The Six of Hearts. I think the Six of Hearts, King of Diamonds, King of Hearts, the passion that the 9 of Clubs has, and when using your intelligence and your wisdom, because ultimately you have the 8 of Clubs as your reward card as well. So the information and applying the information and knowledge that you have, and using your life as an example, I guess you can say, is using the King of Hearts, King of Diamonds, and creating your empire and using that drive and that focus that you have. And because ultimately, your path, your drive, where you're headed in life, and applying that into the health fields as well, because it can be health oriented, has the 10 of Hearts, so mental health, helping people, guiding people, and using the information that you have as a light, because having the Jack of Spades can make you so dynamic and able to go so many different ways. But when you focus, like Josephine said, and you focus on that bag and you become a king of your empire using that King of Hearts and that King of Diamonds, put you in a whole nother platform as far as the power that you have and controlling, employing other people, and just using your mental and your brain power as a weapon, Because you working with mental health, you healing people, you helping people. The Six of Hearts is a health oriented and peaceful card, bringing peace, a peace of mind to other people. Being that guiding light, because the power that you have, the resources, using the money and material that you gaining over time, because you, like Josephine said, you're going to get the bag, you're going to meet people, you're going to find powerful associates throughout your life. Everything's going to be karmic as far as the relationships that you add or you gain, as long as you're paying attention.
And I honestly feel that the 9 of Clubs comes into that balance once they heal that childhood experience and they step into their power. But everything that you just described, Rashad, it struck a chord within me, and my cat Moon is trying not to express emotions right now. Because that is literally I feel somewhat of what my purpose is coming into being a 9 of Clubs ruled 3 of Diamonds. Is that whenever I do share knowledge or share something that I know, it's usually to help others, especially as an Aquarius. So thank you for that. The guiding light. I just seen a lighthouse, so thank you. Hey, Cheyenne.
Grand Rising, everyone.
Rich Rising, beloved.
So let me tell y'all, this 9 of Clubs, I have a child that is the 9 of Clubs, and I am the 6 of Diamonds. And when I tell y'all my little 9 of Clubs, she's challenging. I know she's my cosmic card, I want to say. But I wanted to get some insight on my 9 of Clubs, because when I tell y'all, I'll be ready to hurt my 9 of Clubs, but I know in my heart I'm supposed to, it's my duty to protect my 9 of Clubs. It's like I'm so protecting over her. I'm very, when it comes to even her, her dad's side of the family, anybody, I'll be so strong over her. I don't allow her, I'm want her to get hurt, because she is like one of those kids. Like she's the only kid. I only have one kid, and she's 8 years old. She'll be 9 in October. She every 5 minutes she's in the room. She's checking on me. Mom, you okay? You all right? She gives me so much love throughout the day, which I love it. You know, sometimes for me it could be a little too much, being as though I'm a Gemini 6 of diamonds. You know, like brush people off a little bit, like, you know, that energy of just like, you know, not right now, like back up a little bit. But I just want to get a little insight on how, because I don't want to hurt her, being as though we're both too strong. And sometimes I do see like a side, like, you know, when she is trying to, you know, be lovable. I'm kind of trying to understand what her heart is for me, because she be challenging me, y'all, and like, but I love her so much. But she's like, we have that relationship that, you know, she can tell me anything. She can talk to me. I do let her express herself very much, because she's very expressive, like very expressive. But I try to, you know, keep her on a like, you know, watch it with me. Like, you know, watch it with me, because she's one of them. If you allow her to manipulate you, she will. You know what I mean? She's very like intellectually smart when it comes on to that. Like, she will really play you if you don't. She will play you if you don't like if you allow her to, or she thinks that she, you know, you are not, you don't know her. You know what I mean? So it's like, you gotta know her. And I'm always arguing with somebody about her. I'm like, I know my child, y'all. Like, they think I would be so hard on her for no reason, but it's just like, my child. Ooh, I'm telling you, that 9 of clubs is something else.
But she's your challenging karma card.
Okay. Makes sense. I'll be ready to choke this dominant.
So this is interesting, because the King of Hearts actually has a 6 of diamond in Neptune. So that karma, my mom also is very protective of me. And I think that that's inherent with the Queen of Hearts as a challenging karma card. And so that fierce protectiveness is necessary with the 9 of clubs, because people can take advantage of energy. So we do need that protection, but we also need the bounds to feel like we have some sense of freedom. And also cultivate the environment for her to be creative, to channel her intellect into different projects.
Yes.
Because I do find that, and this is what lent itself to my depression as a young child, was that my mom was, or the 6 of diamond energy can be a bit standoffish and emotionally distant because of that Ace of Hearts and Saturn. And so it's a challenge for you to really step into your emotional capacity, or work on expanding it just a bit, but also take the opportunity to teach her boundaries.
Yes, and I feel like that. I do feel like that. I've been trying to do something when you say creativeness. I feel like that, because bored gets her in trouble. Like, when she's bored, she becomes destructive. She becomes just like, you know, she does things, and then she, you know, it's like, so it'd be so challenging, because it's like, I know she did something, but then she'll try to, like, you know, flip the script, like, no, or if somebody's around, she's good for putting somebody else on the blame. And it's just like, I be trying to get her to understand, like, you know, to accept the things that you do that are wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Just things like that, because she's like so fearful with things like that. And I'll be like, why are you so like scared? But I do see what you're saying, because she is very, like, you know, when it comes to not even letting go of things, she's like that. Like, she's very like emotional on the inside.
We will brood. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We will brood, and we will write about your ass later.
She loves me. That's one thing I can see my baby does is Joe. She loves to be on her, like, I have a little desk in her room, and that's all that girl does. Like, she writes. The other day, let me tell you about it, was funny. Told her she couldn't have no tablet. Her tablet was on my bed. So all day we was